Hi, hello, it's Pip here from queenpipcards.com. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this card. I have actually shown and shared this card online with you before, but I haven't actually done a video on it. So I thought I would do a quick video. It's not a difficult card, it's a very simple card to make. However, you know, some people might not know how to put it together, so I thought I would give you a quick preview of it and show you how to do that. So the first thing you're going to need is your soft seafoam card base. This is just a piece of A4 paper chopped in half, and then I'm just going to fold that. You could make this in American sizings as well. It doesn't have to be European, obviously. Oh, that's somebody doing something outside. Sorry, it's so hot here. We've got the windows open, so if you hear a bit of background noise, I apologise. Okay, so that's my card base. Then I'm going to take my soft seafoam stamp, no, ink pad even, stamp, which you can't also see on this, very faint on the camera, but hopefully when I open it you can see the colour. Let's get that shiny packet out of the way. And I'm using this stamp, and this is from Tasteful Textures, which I love. I think it's just a great set. It's got some beautiful floral kind of fleur-de-lis images. It's got this great set stamp here, and it's just got some really nice you know, words and sentiments. Great for people. Take time to do what makes your soul happy, you know, just stuff like that. You deserve it, just believe, all those kind of things. So I really like that. Plus there's a little bit of a backgroundy thing here, which, you know, is not really my bag, but I do use it on occasion, so that's good. But this one I really love, and it does come with a set of framelits, which we're going to, or dies, which I'm going to share with you in a moment. So it doesn't really have an up or a down, it's up to you which way you want to do it, but I'm just inking up my stamp, and then I'm going to start sort of here-ish. I always start in the middle. I don't know why, it's a Pip thing. I think it just helps me work out where everything's going. And I've just got some grid paper down, so I'm sorry that it's probably making your eyes go a bit funny, but I just need that down to help me do the stamping off. So we just follow this pattern around, and there we go. So it reminds me of that brocade fabric, you know, that, or you get in curtains or sofas and things like that. So that's the look I was going for. So I'll take that away now, I don't need that anymore. The next thing we're going to do is we're just going to stamp our sentiment. Just a little scrap piece of white cardstock here. And I've got the good things are sure to happen, because I think that's always true. Good things do happen. Might take some time to actually get there, but they do happen. I'm just, oops, just stamping it just sort of right of centre, just so that I have a bit of space here, because I'm going to put a bit of an embellishment on that side. And I stamped that in Mossy Meadow. Then that's all the stamping done, so that can go away now and dry. Not that it takes long to dry. But the next thing we need to do is play with the dies. So the dies that come, whoops, you can see I've used that one. The dies that come are called Tasteful Background dies, and they have, funnily enough, backgrounds on them. Oh, it's got stuck now. Oh. Good thing is these new dies have got less sticky tape, so it doesn't tend to rip the front, which is good. So you can see this is the die, the fleur-de-lis kind of die that I'm using. Then this one cuts out a similar shape to that stamp, but I don't think, I'm just going to check actually, but I don't think it, oh, it does match. Oh, look at that. So you can stamp and then you can cut out. Okay, but what it'll cut out will be all of the petals, so you'll have all the petals loose if you wanted to play around with them. But you can also just leave them like I'm going to do with this one. It'll just cut out sort of the inside image but not the outside edge, so there's no outer edge cutting die on that, so you just get left with basically this inserted cutout piece, which is what I love about these. And then you've got a row of daisies. which is cute, really cute. I mean, they're not really daisies, but they kind of look like daisies when they're cut out. They're really pretty. So that's fab. But today we're going to use the fleur-de-lis. So I'm going to get my Big Shot out, or any other die cutting machine you may have. And literally you just need obviously your normal cutting plates. And then I cut this square. How big is this? This is 7 centimeters. I think I cut this out of the layering square dies, but you could just chop it by to 7 centimeters by 7 centimeters, which is roughly, what's that, 2 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inches, just so that you get an idea of how big this die is. There we go. Pop that on there. Pop that down. Run it through. And these new dies cuts, they just glide through the cardstock. It's beautiful. So lift it up. Whoops. And you see that it's left, like you think it's left all those pieces in, but they're actually all loose in there. So I'll just get rid of this again, and then all of these just pop out. So you just get left with the remainder, and they just come out so simply. Look at that, easy. Just be a bit careful, because obviously the lines that are left are quite delicate. You don't want to pop out any of those. I mean, if you wanted to, you could reconstruct the fleur-de-lis with all those pieces that are left, if you had the patience to do that and work out where they were all going. I mean, actually it wouldn't be that difficult. You just follow the pattern from what they've come out from. So like that would be the top, and then you'd have one of those going that way. Oh no, it must be somewhere else. Oh, maybe that's around the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. One of those going that way, one of those going that way. Do you see what I mean? So you could actually, if you wanted to, recreate your fleur-de-lis, but it would take a little time, is all I'm saying. Anyway, but you could do it if you wanted to, but we're going to get rid of that. So that's our piece, and it's going to just go over the edge, so it covers up some of the stamping that you've done, but you can just see the stamping through it. See what I mean? So it looks pretty like that, doesn't it? And then I've just taken a piece from the Garden Lane suite of papers, and I've brought in one of the lovely little trinkets from the Bird Ballad suite. I love the fact that you just swap and match things over. And then last but not least, oh, where's it gone? Nearly lost it. This is the thread from Magnolia Lane Combo. So it's a nice mossy meadow colour. So the most important thing to do is to get this up on some dimensionals, because you want to have that little lift. Now the only thing I will say is that the centre here is so tiny, it's really tricky to put anything in the centre. However, if you work it correctly, you could probably get a very small, I'm tempted to just, I know, but you're going, no, not more dimensionals, but it does need to be fairly stiff. There we go. Just want it to have some, you know, height behind it, and make sure it doesn't sag too badly. Like that. Do you see what I mean? You need to have the lift to get that shadow through. Now you could, if you were clever, do a really tiny piece of a dimensional. It doesn't even have to be a mini dimensional because it's really tiny, but a mini might be easier to cut into pieces. So if you got a mini, you'd have to chop it into, you know, because that's going to show, but you could chop a very small piece if you felt like it. Or what you could do, see, that will just about fit there, it's just to give it a little bit of something in the center to hold it. Or what you could do is you could make sure that whatever you were doing, so like this, went over the middle. I didn't want that, I wanted it to stay open, but you could just, you know, make sure that you had a sentiment that went across the center, and then you could put a dimensional underneath and nobody would know it was there. But For me, I'm going with this. I'm not even going to take the sticky bit off from the centre. I just need something underneath it to give it a bit of height. So it can leave, I can leave on the cover. That doesn't need to come off. And then position this where you want it to go, sort of there-ish. Make sure it's straight. There we go. And that just adds that little bit of extra. Is that straight? Yeah. Just adds that extra little bit of lift. Then what I did was I glued this to this because it's just easier if it's all one piece. So I just put a strip of glue along there and glued that to that. Like that. Whoops. No, don't move. I mean, it's good that we can get the wiggle room, but don't move when I've put you down. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to dimensional this. Now, obviously, this doesn't need dimensionals over here. So we're going to glue this piece. Just stick some glue over that. And then we're going to put the dimensionals back here to give this some lift. You just need to make sure that you're not going to be overlapping with your dimensionals. There we go. And then peel those off. You notice I'm being a little bit more laissez-faire with my dimensionals because they're back and in stock and available to order. Yippee-doo. So I'm very happy about that. Okay, so then this is going to go, there's my first dimensional there. So that's going to go back there. It's a little bit further over than this one, but that's okay. It's sort of straight, a bit more down. There we go. All right, and then just to finish off, I thought it would be nice to have this rose, but just on its own, I think it's a rose. It's any kind of flower, really, isn't it? Just on its own, it looked a bit lonely. So you could add, I could have added leaves, or you could add, you know, some kind of ribbon. But I thought, do you know what? I quite like this mossy meadow twine. Come on. And it's the right colour. There we go. So we will just cut a piece of that off, and then we reach for our glue dots. And these are just amazing glue dots. I love my glue dots because they'll hold ribbon like twine like that, but they'll also hold metal embellishments like this. So we're going to stick that right there on the corner, and then we're going to stick, and that's why it needed so many dimensionals, because it needs to take the weight of the flower. I'm just going to pop that right next to it there like that. There we go. Good things are sure to happen. Yes, they are. So there we go. That's my Tasteful Textures card for today. I hope you like it. It wasn't a very long video today. I'm changing things up a little bit. I'm going to be trying to do 2 videos a week plus my Facebook Live. So just a bit of difference rather than just writing a plain boring blog post. So hopefully you'll enjoy that, and hopefully you've enjoyed my quick rundown of my card today. All the stuff that you need to buy is in the description below, and if you live in the UK you can buy from me, yay, which is good to know. You can also purchase if you're in Austria, France, Germany and the Netherlands, but not if you're in Australia, New Zealand or America or Canada or anywhere else in the wonderful world that you might be watching me from. So I am sorry about that. But yes, if you've got any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be back again soon with my next video. Thanks ever so much for watching. You take care now. Bye bye.